All right, all right. Hey guys, Tanya Patxot, also known as the Truthpreneur, and I help you to get clear, become productive, and to see daily results. And I am right now doing on this show, and we're talking about igniting clarity and your moments of truth. And so I had an interview with Sacia. I think it was a month ago.
Yeah, I think so, a long time ago.
Yeah, it was a little bit ago, and it was so awesome because I was totally blown away when I got on the interview and she was interviewing me. And then I'm like, she's like 14 years old and she had the most amazing questions, so professional. I loved her site. It was really, really awesome. So I decided, hey, why not do a quick blab with her and talk about what I love to talk about, which is those moments of truth in your life that really shape and shift not only who you are, but where you're going in life. And if you are watching this live or anything like that, you can always check out. Blab just put a really cool little link, dropping a link here so that you can actually get her freebie right there. And I'm really excited to definitely hear from her. And if you have any questions, you can always put it in the chat. I leave it open to be live, but a lot of people watch the replay as well. So, all right. So Sacia, you are running around, traveling, getting things going, but she stayed committed to the blab, so that's awesome. Before we get into the interview, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, as you said, my name is Sacia Ashe, and I'm a blogging and content strategist. So, I'm 14 years old, and I have been blogging and doing business for 4 years now. So I started when I was 10, and I actually started with just soap. So I've always been really creative, and I've been the little girl sitting there selling her lemonade and cookies. And I just started making like candles and soap by basically sticking all my grandma's stuff in the microwave. But I fell in love with it, actually. So I got some real supplies, and I talked to some of my mother's friends who were in college and living off their Etsy, and I decided to go ahead and start a real Etsy shop. So I called my mom, so excited, asking her for my social security so that I could set everything up. And I finally got it set up, and it was really rough at first because I couldn't take photos, but eventually I just started making sales. So I was like, oh, I'm pretty good at this. So then I started a couple of other shops where I was doing knitting and other crafts and selling them online. And I found this on the side. I also found this other passion for blogging. So when I was about 9 years old, I started my first website, and it was actually on my grandma's iPhone 3. I got it into my head that I wanted a website really badly, so I Googled how to make a website, and I created this website on my grandma's phone, and back then nothing was mobile responsive, so it took a really long time, and I made like 5 different accounts trying to set it up. But I found this real passion for just creating content and seeing people actually commenting and saying, wow, this really helped me. And I also realized that actually blogging helped grow my craft business. So when I got older and a lot better at it, I launched my current business now, which is Sacia Isabella. And basically what I do is I teach creative entrepreneurs and business women how to build a community and a business that is focused around their passion and how to use their content to grow their brand. And I really love copywriting, so I'm really focused around content strategy. But that's pretty much my story.
Awesome. So can you see yourself doing more copywriting in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people ask me to do copywriting for them, and I it's like not a super passion of mine, so right now I'm not offering it, but I've had the biggest small business advice website in the UK approach me asking me to do their copywriting, even though I wasn't offering the service. And I've also had a few other companies and just people approach me to do their copywriting because they just like the stuff on my website. But I do see myself doing a lot of that. A lot more of that in the future.
It's always good to take those opportunities and test them out and see how it flows, and if that's something that you just want to leave as what you're doing now or as an opportunity to put that as a service. So that's cool that you can have all that. So do you find, when was that moment of truth for you? That moment where you said, I love arts and crafts, but I want this as a business? Because to sell stuff, that's still hobby like, you know? But
Exactly.
when did that moment shift for you when you said, I know that for the rest of my life, this is it. Like, I'm going to do this?
I think it was really when I realized that I could do crafts, but what I really wanted to do was I wanted to help people. And I realized that the only way that these little crafts I was doing could actually help people and maybe change their life in even the smallest way by making them a little happier, more comfortable in their own skin, was if I actually got this out to the world. And I realized that the way I could do that is by starting a business. So
that is awesome.
I think that moment of truth was when I realized that I could actually help people with what I was passionate about.
That's awesome. So, in that process of saying, okay, this is what I'm going to do, I know that one thing that probably did was separate you from a lot of people your age, right? So a lot of friends and individuals that they're not, majority of the kids out there, they're not doing what you're doing. So did that put any strain on any relationships, friends, anything at all?
Well, I felt a little embarrassed because I didn't want people to, I didn't want my friends to find out because I didn't know what they would think of me. They might think I was nerdy or different. So at first it was really stressful because I was like trying to like block them from my business Instagram account or just kind of hide it from them because I didn't know what they would think about it. But it was just it's such a big part of who I am. I just love it so much. They eventually found out and it was fine, but it did take a little bit of a toll on those relationships, especially because I'm just so passionate about it. So instead of going out to the movies with my friends, I'd rather, write a blog post. So sometimes it does put some strain on those relationships, but it's all about balancing that.
So how exactly do you do that? How do you balance?
Well, as I said before, it can be hard for me to sort of separate me just going out and being a normal teenager and me wanting to start this profitable business because that's what I'm passionate about. So I have to remind myself, Sacia, you're 14 years old. You have to go out with your friends sometimes. You can't just be sitting here on the computer doing business. And also my parents, they remind me, Sacia, you should probably go join the track team instead of just sit on the computer doing your business all day. So it's really about just reminding yourself that even though you're super passionate about this thing, that's not all life has to give you. And you really have to try out different things and see where else you can go.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I found that getting away from things and having that time, you get more creative. As a creative, that's where everything is inspiring you. The more time it's like you're away, the more you're like, I got to get back. I got to get back. Because like all these ideas are flowing and you're like about to explode. So
yeah, exactly.
I'm sure that happens, while you're in school sometimes, huh?
Yeah, I have like scribbles on the back of my notebook, like different design ideas or like antonyms I can use for my copy and stuff.
I love it. I love it. And it's always growing, always growing. So Have your parents always been supportive in business?
Yes, I actually, so my stepdad, he's very supportive of it, and my mom, she's obviously worried that, oh, you might not get a social life, or people might think differently of you. So she's the one who sort of reminds me of that balance, but she's an entrepreneur herself. So I feel like everyone in my family has been really supportive. A lot of them buy my stuff, refer me to people. So I feel like, yeah, my parents have always been pretty supportive of me in business.
That's great. So, my question to you is, just being 14 years old, do you honestly feel that there is a struggle in growing your business or 10xing your business because individuals in the business world might look at your age?
I do. Yes, I feel like there's both a downside and an advantage to it. So, I used to hide my age on my business, so I wouldn't tell people, oh, I'm 14, and nobody knew it. But eventually, I realized that actually saying how old I was an advantage, because it was that one thing that sort of stood me out from the crowd. It And it really, I guess, for some people it turned them off, but for a lot of people it made them say, oh my gosh, she's only 14, I've got to meet her. And so I feel like it's given me actually more of an advantage. But it can be really hard to be so young and in business, because you're competing with these people who are really experienced, and people know they're experienced because they can say, oh, I've been doing this for 20 years. And I can be like, well, I've been here for 4 years. I haven't even been around for 20 years. So it can be challenging sometimes. And also, people tend not to trust you as much because of how young you are. So you really have to work hard and show them, I know my stuff, to really get out there.
It's very true, but the great part about it is that you can bring such a creative, youthful way of thinking and outside the box, because a lot of entrepreneurs that I talk to, it becomes so difficult for them. I talk to my kids about ideas and things like that because they stay in this box. They stay in this box of this cookie cutter mentality of what things should be. But you can come in with a fresh mentality and say, no, you can still make it this way.
Yeah, exactly. And I think a lot of the fact that I've actually been able to reach success somewhat is because of how people are getting tired of those, 40-year-olds who are teaching the old business mentality, or who aren't willing to change, or who just don't know the new technology. They want people in the 21st century who really know the trends of the technology. They're thinking of new things in business because they haven't
Oop, I think she
been
cut
around.
out for a
Is now
second.
becoming an advantage. Did I cut out?
Yep, you cut out just a little bit.
Oh, okay. So I was just saying that it can be an advantage because the younger people, they aren't as influenced by all the old business advice, so they can really move forward into new ages, I guess, of what business should be, which is content focused and value based.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so that brings me into the point where even with your age, I believe, and I don't know, and you can kind of speak on this. Do you believe that your website solidifies your expertise? So when they're like, oh, she's 14, whatever, but then when they come to your site and they're blown away at not just the content, but it's not thrown together. It's well thought out. There's an actual brand to it. It's colorly, it has the color schemes and the fonts and everything. So it's like, okay, this girl might know what she's talking about. Do you think that has made a difference for you, that when you say, okay, this is my age, but you put so much time into the look and feel of your brand, that transformed a lot of how they work with you?
I do, absolutely. And I actually,
Oh no, you cut out.
I have sort of
Hello?
experience. I've worked with.
Uh-oh. It looks like Sasha just lost a little bit of reception, so we're just going to wait until she gets back. I think it's really awesome that at 14 we can learn a whole lot. We think that she might not have as big of issues as anyone else jumping into business, but even so much greater. She's 14, so she still has the life. And no, I can't see you or hear you. Why don't you get in and then come back out? I'm just going to have you pop in and pop out. Okay. All right. So she's popping in and popping out. The truth of the matter is, it is so crucial that we just take a look at um, what is happening in the world around us, and how we're flowing, and realize that you know we can do it. Like, we can. Hold on one second. I am actually getting her back on. That we can build a business at any age, at any stage of our lives, no matter what. Okay, there we go. We have her. Oh, I can't hear you. Let's see. It might be muted. You're gonna what?
Tell me if you can still hear me because I'm plugging in my phone.
Yes, I can actually hear you. So you were finishing off saying that, like, how your website solidifies your expertise and how it's helped you because you took time to do your brand.
Oh, yes. I've done design professionally because it's been a big passion of mine. So I've worked on my website a lot, actually. And I feel like the fact that I actually did solidify my brand so much has helped me, because I'll tell people, maybe because of the collaboration, oh yeah, just forgot to mention I'm 14. But then they'll say to me, oh my gosh, you're 14. I went to your website and it's gorgeous, and I read your stuff and it's awesome, and I wouldn't have guessed you were 14 unless you actually told me. So I feel like having that solid brand, it'll help you a lot. And even if you're, not a teenager, not trying to prove anything to anyone age-wise, I think having that brand, it'll make you stand out from the crowd. It'll make you a lot more professional, and especially put your best foot forward with your content too, because that's often people's first impression of you. So someone will go and read my 4,000 word blog post, and they'll be like, this was amazing, I wouldn't have known you were 14 at all, because this is better than most people's content in general. So definitely put that best foot forward. And putting that best foot forward doesn't even mean having content that's 8,000 words long. It could just be a really stunning recipe, or a amazing podcast episode. But put all your effort into it. Don't just do something to just get it out there.
Yeah, and I totally agree. Because you have to work with excellence. And so everything that you put, out there in the public, it has your name on it. And so it's like, how do you want them to feel about you, your brand, and the trust, the like, know, and trust factor, So I totally agree with that. So
Exactly.
How many times do you blog? Do you do weekly, monthly?
So I blog weekly. I do that a lot. Some people suggest blogging 3 times a day. a week. Some people suggest blogging weekly. Some people suggest blogging monthly, but putting out really long posts. I feel like blogging weekly has been that happy medium for me. But I would definitely suggest different things for different industries. So if you are in an industry where, I'll give you an example. If you're in like a recipe industry, posting 3 times a week could be a legitimate thing that would grow your business. But if you're in a business like I am, where you're doing stuff that requires more long form content, I would definitely say stick to a week schedule. I would never go monthly because it tends to have people forget about you. So it could be amazing content, but if they go for a whole week without having any contact with you and your writing and your advice, they're going to essentially forget about you because you're not posting consistently. So I definitely would say do that weekly schedule, so 4 posts a month, because that's that happy medium where it's not too much, you're not overloading yourself or anyone else, but you're also not giving them that time to forget about you and your business. So
Yeah, absolutely. I found that happy medium was once a week, especially kind of doing an epic post. I teach like productivity and clarity, and you would think that it's great to give like everyday tips or that type of thing, and it's not, because you're overwhelming people. Now, I would say if you're first starting off and you're trying to build that credibility and that type of thing, I can understand blogging daily, but that doesn't mean that you email your list daily or contact them daily. I repurpose a lot of content into many different forms. So I'm still building every day. I'm posting multiple times a day, but I'm not emailing every single day. So that's just really good to kind of start building your actual website, content. And so when people come, they're interactive and they're seeing more than just one post. They don't really think that you just started. So, but yeah, it's always the email list thing that catches people. They feel like because they blog 3 times a week that they actually have to email people 3 times a week. And so exactly. Because, I have the show and I have other things I do, so I don't want to bombard my email list with that. But so, you know, when it comes to, okay, so being 14 and having to self-develop, I mean, you have to learn not only self-development mentally as an entrepreneur, but you also have to learn the industry and what's going on in the industry, how to create that epic blog, how to create that epic content. So what do you do in the sense of how do you study and grow as a person, and then how do you study and grow as an entrepreneur at the same time while you're going to school and studying for that and everything else you have on your plate?
So I'm not totally clear on the question, so I'm sort of gonna interpret it. So tell me if I'm misunderstanding it. But school-wise, I feel like I learn a lot of things in school that I can actually integrate into entrepreneurship. So I've actually been noticing this a lot recently. So for I'll give you an example. English class, I can use those writing techniques in my blog posts, or in math class, I can use that to map out my financials. And in I don't know, social studies, I can see where have business owners failed in the past and how can I move through that in the next generations of business. And I try to incorporate everything because that's really what school's for. I actually don't see myself doing entrepreneurship full time when I'm older. I want to go to actually Harvard. So I feel like as a person, I've been able to grow as an because of both my entrepreneurship and my schooling, because with the entrepreneurship, it's taught me how to be independent, but also know when to get help. And with my schooling, it's taught me to be social and expand and love to expand my mind. So that's, yeah.
So how do you study the industry and what's going on now?
So a lot of it's from experience, actually, but I try not to let myself be influenced by too many people, because that's when I get overwhelmed and my voice just stops sounding like my own. And I want to try to give those really original tips. So, what I do is I have certain bloggers in in the same and slightly different industries. And I pretty much only follow those bloggers, and that prevents me from really getting too influenced or copying people or changing my mind because I see this person I really like and want to be just like them. So I actually really I don't know if you know her, Jen Carrington, but I was listening to her Make It Happen podcast. Mm-hmm. And she mentioned something about when you're consuming content, you are letting them form the way you think. You're basically letting them have a space in your brain. So I pick entrepreneurs and bloggers who I know are going to really expand the way I work, are going to give me a different perspective, but still have my same value system. And I pretty much only follow those entrepreneurs, and I use their information to learn new things, catch up on the trends, and sort of grow as a business owner.
I absolutely love it. And I'm so glad that you're not like most. Every time I'm in coaching, I tell people the first thing we're going to do is we're going to declutter everything. And that's what I do in my 7 days to clarity challenge. Oh, she left off for a second, popped off, but I'm just going to continue. So when she was talking about the fact that, you know, we follow so many different individuals, when I'm coaching, that's the first thing that we do. We work on it for a couple of weeks of literally just getting rid of all the craziness, all the madness, all the emails, and we pick the 3 people they're going to follow. It is so important not to get bombarded, because just like Sacia said, you know, it's absolutely true what she said, that you know, you will get bombarded and badly influenced sometimes, you know, just by following everybody and anybody. And when we go into entrepreneurship, we still have that consumer mindset where we want to consume everything and anything. And it's, you know, not a good idea. So I think she had dropped off and fell back. Wow, amazing knowledge and insight. Yes, absolutely. Can you talk, Sacia? Oh, no, I can't hear you. Okay, while she's getting her sound back. But yeah, so I tell everybody to when we're first coaching, I tell them, hey, I want you to clean out all the clutter first. We literally do a cleaning spree. And believe it or not, it can take almost a month to get rid of all the like excess stuff that people have. So I look at like my inbox as would I invite that person to my house, or you know, would I, you know, be able to see their values, and will I agree? And so in order to get into my inbox, you know, it has to be a filtration like I do, because it's too much going on. There we go, she's back. Okay, I can hear you now.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that was such a good point, and I love that you brought that up, because so many people suffer from when they want something, they have that consumer mindset, and they subscribe and they buy every program, they subscribe to every email list, they buy every book known to man. And I love what you said, because it's like they lose their own creativity. And it is so true. They lose their own thing, and you know, and the influence that, you know, that has can be very detrimental. So it looks like your picture fell off. Can you talk? We might have lost her again. definitely when she comes back, she's been kind of in and out. Oh no. Okay, I'm going to bump you off and put you back on real quick. All right, so she's going to go off and then come back on right now, actually. We've been having some fun kind of losing reception. She's actually driving. She's actually driving right now, so she's not driving. Somebody else is driving. Okay. You want to talk? Nope, I can't hear you. We have a couple people here. Just stay on for a second. We're just trying to get her back on. Okay. If you guys have any questions at all for her, definitely just jump in the chat. You can go ahead and put a Q / and just ask in the chat, and you can ask her any questions. She's really awesome. She interviewed me a month ago, and she blew me away. It was awesome. There we go.
Thank you so much. I heard.
Okay, so
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
If you have any questions, I would love to answer them. I love answering questions. So yeah, feel free to leave them in the chat.
Absolutely. So, what you had mentioned that you wanted to go to Harvard, and so you said, why business now? If it's not something that you see yourself doing forever or in the future, or constantly kind of going, why build a business now?
Business is something that's really passionate about me, and I know I'm a person who knows that we should live our life really in the present, because we don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. We don't know what the next hour is going to bring. I didn't even know if I would be able to get on this interview. So I feel like by having my business now, I've been able to I'm going to say cash in on that passion right now, because, things are always changing and you don't know where you're going to be later on in life. But it's just something I'm passionate about. So I decided, well, if I'm not going to do it now, when am I going to do it?
I like it. You might as well do it. And those are some words, obviously, to live by for many adults that are still, not doing what their passion is. So can you tell us what your last moment of truth was? That moment that shifted kind of thing, some clarity moments for you.
Okay. So, I feel like that last moment of truth was when I decided to actually take the jump into teaching people blogging and content strategy.
Okay.
It was something that I sort of pondered on for a while, but when I finally decided to do it, it was this big moment of truth, because it was this moment where I actually accepted, you know what? Even though this is something people say, you shouldn't do this, you're too young to do this, you don't have enough experience to do this, it's something I was so passionate about. And I decided, you know what? I'm not going to listen to these other people. I'm not going to listen to these other advice givers who are telling me, no, don't do this. No, you can't do this. No, you're going to fail. And I just decided, you know what? I'm just going to try it out. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But, again, I'm just trying to live life to the fullest, and it's something I'm really passionate about right now. So I decided, you know what? People are telling me I'm going to fail, but it doesn't matter, because if I'm really passionate about it and if I want to do it, I'm going to have the determination, I'm going to stick through, and I'm not going to care that people are telling me you can't do this, this isn't normal, because I'm going to create a new normal for myself and for other people,
Oh my God, I love that. I'm creating a new normal. I'm gonna have to tag that one. That's phenomenal. Like, seriously, that is a really great thing. Now, so that brings me to a curious question. How in the world did you get your mindset? Because you just talked about in this interview just alone, people are telling you you're going to fail. I know people have told me that too. your friends, just everything that can scream out, no, don't do it. How in the world did you get that mindset?
I think it's two things, actually. First of all, I'm, stubborn as a donkey. So if I want to do something and I get it in my head that I'm going to do this, you probably know I'm going to do it because it's something I want to do, and it's something that I'm really going to push forward on it, and I don't care if people are telling me this isn't right or this isn't, it hasn't been done before, or you could fail, because it's something that I want to do, and if that's where life's going to take me, I feel like it'll all work out. So I feel like that stubbornness has really given me that benefit in the mindset aspect. And then also my grandparents have been really supportive. So especially my grandfather, he since I was little, he's always just pretty much put me in this mindset of always stay positive. He says this thing about positive automatic thoughts. Instead of always thinking automatically, no, this is going to fail, think, you know what? This isn't going to fail. I'm actually going to be able to do this. And it's just something that he's, I guess, ingrained in me since I was really little. So it's a combination of both that stubbornness and that positive thinking that I've always really had.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, do you read any books? Are you a book reader or audio or? Hello?
Are you there?
Yep. I had said, are you a book reader or do you do like audio and that type of thing?
Oh, you were frozen. Sorry, I didn't hear you.
It's okay.
Am I a book reader? Yes, I am loving reading. And I listen to tons of podcasts. I just love learning new things. Right now I'm actually reading The Count of Monte Cristo. It's a really long book, but it's been really good. But yeah, I've always been a reader. I've always been a learner, I guess you could say. I really love just learning all different kinds of things, from coding to how the sky turned blue, So it's just something I've always been passionate about.
So before ending, can you tell me one moment? Oh, okay. So we actually have a couple things. Somebody in the chat said, "Never fear failure. We learn more from from failure and failing, and they're not permanent either. To fail is just your first attempt in learning. Learn from it, try again, and never give up." So we absolutely agree with that. And then somebody from the chat. And then we also have, I'm just in all awe. She is so mindful and driven. What are her favorite books related to business or philosophy?
I would say my favorite books, and thank you so much. I'm so glad. I really try to help people, and I'm so glad you're getting something out of this. So thank you so much. But my favorite books in business, I would say the first thing is Crush It. So Crush It was something that really changed my mindset around content creation and succeeding in business. It really focuses on getting your mind into that hustle mindset and getting ready to work hard and create awesome things. Although it's by Gary Vaynerchuk. Although I'm not a huge fan of his actual personality, his book is just really indispensable for any entrepreneur who really needs help with learning how to hustle, and it's such a great book for that. I also really like Girl Boss, and I even think men should read it too, because even though it's empowering for women and girls, it's another book that just shows you that hard work that it takes to be an entrepreneur, and it shows you that people start from zero. That can be something that's really hard for people to grasp, because these successful people, they're saying, oh yeah, I'm a one-hit wonder, but no, they're probably hiding something that made them that one-hit wonder, because it does take a lot of hard work. It's not an overnight success, and I always say behind an overnight success is either a huge team of people or experience in one way or another beforehand. So it's never just an overnight success. And finally, I really, really love Big Magic. So that's one of my favorite books right now. It's really helpful because it's not actually about business, but it puts you in that creative mindset that will totally change the way you think as an entrepreneur. Because I feel like entrepreneurs, especially people who are in the less creative fields, you need to, even though you may not think of yourself as a creative person, you need to get into that creative mindset because you want to change something. You don't just want to be, another, personal trainer or just another, finance management blogger. You want to be someone who's really changing things, especially if you want to succeed and stand out. So it's something that will help you form that creative mindset that you need to really change things and take a different stance. So those are my 3 favorite books for business.
Nice. I will definitely have to take a look at the Big Magic one. Definitely, definitely. So we have one more question. What are your favorite apps?
Oh, my favorite apps. Besides the social media, and by the way, my favorites are Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest. I really like a color story for editing photos. It's a new app that just came out. And then 2 other apps. One of them is Pomodoro, and I use that to really manage my time as a business owner. And then the other app I really, really love is Pocket. So I use that to really manage the way I consume content online, so I can save blog posts from pretty much anywhere, and or content and links, and then I can read them on my own time so that I'm not stressed out that I have to read this right now. I can save things that I think will be helpful in the future, but I'm not saying, I have to learn this right now. I just save it for when I actually do need to use it. So it's something that's really helps in the when I'm consuming other people's content.
And which app was that?
Pocket. So it's a free app.
So Pocket. I'll have to definitely check that one out. All right, I got nice in the comments.
Thank you.
So, and just in wrapping up, and I so appreciate you, coming on. Do you think that what do you think prevents you from the fear aspect of things? Because I know you've mentioned that, like the fear aspect of like the hard work. Some people are really afraid of the hard work, or some people they just get worn out. Do you even think of things as hard work? Like, is it just one of those things where you're like, whatever, it's just a part of the process?
Honestly, yeah. People always say, oh, well, you're going to reach this hard point in business and then you'll succeed. To be honest, never reach that hard point. I feel like I just love what I'm doing so much that I just feel like any quote unquote hard work, it's just a part of the process that you need to go through. And I feel like for people who are afraid of that hustle or afraid that they're going to fail or afraid of anything jumping into business, I want you to think of this. If you're not doing it right now, take yourself out of it, okay? If you're not doing this right now, how are other people going to be affected? So let me give you an example. Let's say that you are a personal development coach. If you didn't start your business right now, there could be a person out there who is struggling. They're depressed. They don't know where to go. And you're the only person who could possibly connect with them. If you don't start right now, that person, who knows what could happen. But if you start right now, you could help that person. You could change their life. And maybe it won't happen. But just think of the consequences. And I'm talking about the good consequences that could come out of you getting over that fear and starting your business. So if you decide to start your business and you're still afraid, take yourself out of it. Just don't do it for yourself. Think of the other people that you're going to benefit, and that fear will it might not go away totally, but you'll know why you're enduring that fear. It's for other people. So, yeah, that's my suggestion for getting over that fear.
Awesome. I always laugh and I just say, the funny part is you're not going to be anywhere worse off than where you were before. If you don't try,
Exactly.
it's kind of like you could, even if you failed, you're just going to be right back in the same place, but you would have learned something different. So, what's the point of not, trying? I do have one question. Do you set goals and celebrate your success?
Absolutely. I do set goals. And yes, I do celebrate my successes. So the way I set goals is, I pick, something that I want to reach, but I don't call that my goal. So I pick the point I want to reach, and then I break it down into mini steps. And I try not to set huge goals. I try to create mini steps, and I call those my goals. That way I don't get bored, and I don't feel like I am not achieving anything, because you know what, every day I'm achieving those little steps that will bring me to my that end achievement that I want to reach. So when do I actually celebrate? Well, I try to set sort of reward days where maybe I'll go to the movies, or I'll do some cooking, or I'll just take a break from work. And that's sort of how I set my goals and celebrate my successes. So
Cool. Yeah, I call it chunking it down. So I always say, okay, what's
yeah,
the
exactly.
major goal? And then I'm like, okay, yeah, now I want you to break it down into daily actionable steps. Let's just be realistic, A lot of people, though, can't sometimes see that, one daily action, very small but consistent, will yield you the result that you want over time. Because everybody wants everything in the microwave, right? They always want that thing right now. And so,
Yeah.
but the one thing that I value about not having things instant gratification is the fact that without that, you don't build consistency. You don't learn the fact and the reward, the small successes, the small wins, in the process. Because I have so many moments of truth before before like a huge goal, or before another big moment. I'm always having these clarity moments like, oh my gosh, duh, so, Chris said in the chat, it's like eating an elephant and have to do it one bite at a time. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. So if you want to get Sacia's freebie, you can go to thetruthpreneur.com/igniting-clarity/ and you'll be able to get her freebie. It'll be there, and the replay as well will be sent out so everybody can see it. And really excited to have you. Thank you so much for coming on. Any advice that you want to give entrepreneurs that are they're just at that point where they're just like, they need to understand that they're going to have a lot of different moments of clarity and moments of truth, and that it's really okay. Do you have any advice for growing entrepreneurs?
Yes, absolutely. So I have 3 tips that I feel really have changed the way I think about business as I grow in each step. The first tip is, don't be afraid to get help. And I know a lot of people say this, but it's really important, because when you actually get help, you're not only benefiting yourself, but you're also benefiting other people, because they're going to get more one-on-one time with you, and they're also going to get better quality from your business, because you're not going to have to spend time on the tasks that are taking away from what you're really good at. So yeah, definitely get help as soon as you can. The second tip I have is to definitely don't resist those changes that are coming. So a lot of people tend to be scared of growing, but I want you to, instead of being scared of growing, I want you to just sprint toward that growth. So don't rush it. And if growth isn't coming as fast as you want, evaluate it. Think, why isn't this growth coming out as fast as I want? Why aren't people seeing my work? Because it might be something you're not doing right. It might be something that maybe you're doing everything perfectly, but it's just a topic other people don't really want to read about. And maybe it could be something else. So just definitely evaluate it if you don't know what is blocking that change. So evaluation is something I do a lot in my business. And to go with that, while you're evaluating your business, definitely start systematizing things as well. It'll make everything a lot easier. And finally, I want you guys not to resist change. So a lot of entrepreneurs are like, I have to have this niche, I have to stick with this niche, but honestly, you don't. Guys, I've gone from soap to knitting to design to where I am now, and I'm probably going to change more in the future too. But it's been something that's been really valuable, and even if something fails, I know that it's helped me because I didn't resist that change. I just went through it and I learned something from it. So if you feel that you're getting pulled in a different direction, don't try to resist it, because you're really just going to make yourself miserable, and you could be resisting something that could become really amazing. So yeah, definitely just stay with the waves, I guess.
I love those. I love those tips. I always tell people when they're starting off, or in general, even transitioning over, start off with your name as a domain. So because you're going to shift. It's an absolute guarantee. When you get those moments of clarity, you will automatically shift into other things. And you'll notice, oh, I really, really love this aspect of the business. Maybe I'm going to narrow it down, or I'm going to try this or try that, or add another service. So until you really solidify, as you're going. So I love it. That's really awesome. I wonder what what Myers-Briggs personality type are you?
Here, I'm an IJS. I'm an ISJT. So that's I'm an introvert. I think judgmental, intuitive thinking. So ISTJ.
Yeah. Okay, you're an ISTJ, not an INTJ.
Nope.
Okay.
IS.
Cool. I'm gonna have to look at that because I'm an INTJ.
Oh, awesome.
But that means that you're one of like my perfect perfect connections to like work with and to have that. So I love it. And
he says he's an ISTJ too.
An ESTJ, yes.
Oh, an ESTJ.
He's an ESTJ. That's awesome. That's so cool. It's so funny how like when you start really taking your personality test, like you start finding it everywhere. People like I'm attracting all the people that I'm really good at working with. Like all my coaching, like my dream coaching people, like that I would want to coach, or that I would want to work with, or that I would want to build a relationship with. So I love it. Well, I absolutely love it. I'm actually coming out with it's called the Entrepreneur Detox, where we're going to go a lot of the topics that you were talking about, clarity and chunking things down and that type of stuff. So I'll have to reach out with you and have you teach one of the courses and stuff like that. It'll be a membership.
Absolutely.
So All right. Well, awesome. Like I said, definitely you can go into the truthpreneur.com/igniting clarity and get her freebie. It'll be on for another day or two. So thank you so much. And guys, definitely follow her on social media. It was SaciaIsabella.com, right?
So my website, is saciasabella.com, and you can get actually that freebie at any time by going to saciasabella.com/toolbox, and it's spelled Sacia Isabella. But yeah, I'm Sacia Isabella on everything, so you can follow me there.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, like I always say, follow your passion because it is that pathway to your destiny. And I will see you next week, as I normally do, on our show, Igniting Clarity. Have a good one, guys.